So here we go with another kind of post-COVID agenda term that they're trying to redefine vitamins and multi-supplements. The kind of multivitamins you take in the morning. I take one, for basic health because people need vitamins. Vitamins are important for human health, and considering human beings can't produce vitamin C and D all the time, especially here in Canada where it's gray for half the year. Let's just say, winter is pretty dark and dull. It's important to take multivitamins, but that may become more of a challenge with the legislation redefining the terms to make it more restrictive and have more regulations when it comes to multivitamins. So this is in part of this bill here, Bill C-224. And it's now on its third reading. So this is back, it says September 18, 2025. That's the first reading. But now it's heading up to its third. So this is the act to amend the Food and Drugs Act, natural health products. So that's your multivitamins, your your vitamin Ds, your omega-3 pills that some people take, all that stuff that is natural, and they want to change the definition of it. So they want to change it in a means that it redefines it away from a natural health product that's readily available, that's more accessible, to a therapeutic, meaning that a marketplace or a consumer would make it harder to get and be able to purchase it. And this is just, and again, another post-COVID scam in favor of big pharmaceuticals, because where was this legislation before COVID? They weren't concerned about it back in 2015 and from 2015 to 2020. They weren't concerned about the last decade. But all of a sudden now, at the time when they were trying to, say that there was no such thing as natural immunity, that vitamin D is worthless, that, eating the right foods and proper exercise, stuff like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Just trust the pharmaceuticals, trust the experts, and do the exact opposite in favor of your health. That's what they're doing here. So instead of getting healthy supplements, natural supplements, they're trying to change it around to make it harder for people to get natural supplements. So they're more allocated towards big pharmaceuticals. And Mark Nixon saying they're coming for your vitamins. They're calling vitamins drugs. They're regulating supplements like pharma. 150,000 signed the petition. So 150,000 residents in Canada signed a petition to get this blocked, so that this change would not pass. Blaine Calkins just brought it to Parliament. This is where we stand up to Health Canada, and that's Health Canada, where Theresa Tam and now the new coming health minister, who stand for big pharmaceuticals. They stand for big pharma. They're not there for your health. They're there for theirs. They're there for the pharmaceutical giants. They're there for Pfizer and Moderna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson. The people that want you sicker. They want you sicker. They don't care about your health. They don't care about you living a healthy life and happy life. They just want you to maintain. They want you to coast. And coast with their pharmaceuticals that are just going to make you iller. So here is what happened in the breakdown of Parliament. It's a bit of a lengthy video, but I did speed it up a bit. Let's take a listen.
Mr. Calkins, seconded by Ms. Cody, moves that Bill C-224, an act to amend the Food and Drugs Act, natural health products, be now read a second time and referred to the Standing Committee on Health. Debate. The Honourable Member for Ponoka Didsbury.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's certainly a pleasure for me to rise for the second Parliament in a row and present a bill to restore the traditional definition of natural health products. For Canadians watching at home, you might recall that back in the last Parliament in 2023, the government of the day, the Trudeau government of the day, introduced Budget Implementation Act Bill C-47, which redefined natural health products, which have been basically a standalone regulatory body, and it had its own regulations and its own legislation. But the government of the day changed that to make natural health products regulated the same as therapeutic drugs, which meant that all of the processes that Health Canada use to pre-approve sites, to pre-approve products for natural health products now would be the same as therapeutic drugs. So that would include getting something as simple as a vitamin B complex to the marketplace would be just as complicated and potentially as convoluted as getting a new cancer treatment drug to the marketplace. And of course, the government's intention through that Bill C-47 change of the definition was to do cost recovery on the natural health product industry the same way that they do on the pharmaceutical industry. Given the fact that big pharmaceutical industries have billions of dollars of research and development funds and they have a completely regulated allopathic healthcare system, natural health products can't compete in that space. And we'll talk more about that red tape. But I just wanted to be.
And they also bought out the entire parliament, which is why this is even being mentioned. That's the thing about big pharmaceuticals. They have that much money. They produce billions and billions and billions of dollars, not to make you better, but to make you sicker. They don't care about your health. You're just a guinea pig. You're just a lab rat. You're an experiment to them. And they'll exploit you for the tune of billions of dollars, which then they cash in as an investment to buy up all these politicians, to buy up all these governments, to buy out people. We saw it during COVID, and it's still happening. And as I said, there's a reason why this is happening now than it is 10 years ago. You know, natural health remedies have existed for many decades. Why all of a sudden now did they have to redefine it? Why all of a sudden now are they so concerned that they have to put more regulations onto it? When people have been taking multivitamins for many, many years. I remember as a kid, when the Flintstones vitamins were out and, kids used to take that. Were they concerned about, regulating and trying to turn them into therapeutic drugs? No. But now, because Big Pharma captured these guys, you're telling me we can make it harder for people to get vitamins, essential vitamins and nutrients so they can go towards us? Because, we definitely need more business.
It's clear with Canadians that there was no consultation at the time that Bill C-47 was brought through. As a matter of fact, there was no debate. I couldn't find anything that the government said at the time in Bill C-47 about natural health products. It was just tucked in this massive omnibus budget implementation act. The Natural Health Products Protection Association had no idea. The Canadian Health Food Association had no idea. The Direct Sellers Association had no idea. The Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses didn't know. So this was all done. It was a plan hatched in a back room where Health Canada officials, I'm assuming, basically duped the Minister of the Day, Mark Holland, into putting this into the budget implementation, and it created a firestorm of activity. For parliamentarians that were here in the last parliament, you'll remember that various campaigns were initiated by Canadians across the country, whether it's the Natural Health Products Protection Association, the Canadian Health Food Association, Save Our Supplements campaigns. MPs were, I have a stack of cards, Madam Speaker, and I think you probably do as well, that was at least 2 feet high in my office from concerned Canadians. And I'll just say that Canada's Parliament is supreme in this matter, and it shouldn't be overlooked by Health Canada officials that want to just have their way all of the time where Canadians are concerned. Our job as parliamentarians is to make sure that the laws and regulations therein or thereunder reflect what Canadians' wishes are. And overwhelmingly, this Parliament has been told time and time again by Canadians, whether they're involved in the business directly or whether they're consumers, that they don't want their government to be treating natural health products like they're a therapeutic drug. They want the traditional definition restored. So we go back to 1998.
And amazingly, none of these regulatory boards that are already in charge of natural supplements had any notice about this. They're not told anything about this bill. It's a backdoor deal with Health Canada, the federal government, meaning Mark Carney and the Liberal caucus. And I'm sure there was probably some, dark money being transferred from big pharmaceuticals. And funny enough, how the timing of this is happening in November at a time when the, flu season is coming around. People are going to get sicker. They're going to buy more vitamins to stock up during the winter because they're not obviously going to get vitamin D during the cold winter months. So what great timing to block and restrict people away from that so they get sicker, so they turn to more pharmaceuticals, and then they just longevate their illnesses. And of course, the big pharmaceuticals can laugh themselves to the bank while more and more Canadians get iller and sicker.
There was 53 recommendations in the Health Committee report suggesting that natural health products be regulated and classified and categorized on their own. There was opposition when the law was tried to change in 2014. by the creation of Vanessa's Law, and the thought was Health Canada could sneak health products in under the Vanessa's Law rubric. But of course, there was pushback on that at that particular point in time, which led to massive industry consultation and consultation with Canadians. And of course, natural health products have been regulated since that time, 2014, 2015, on their own. And it actually created a time and opportunity because of that consultation of the previous Harper government that the natural health product industry has actually flourished and become the gold standard, or at least was the gold standard, for a number of years until Bill C-47 was passed. So the bill in the previous Parliament was C-368. It's now C-224. And I just want to say how important it is that Canadians understand that if this bill does not pass, then Health Canada will have the powers to regulate natural health products as if they're therapeutic drugs. So we need to undo that. That is a cash grab by Health Canada to basically charge the fees that they wanted to charge. They called it the self-care framework for a time. This would massively increase the cost for creating a site license, and it would also increase the cost massively for getting a product to the market. So already prior to C-47, Canada was like I said, an icon and very, very much the highest standard of regulations of natural health products globally. The International Alliance of Dietary Food Supplements Association, IADSA, basically said in their written submission to committee on Bill C-368 in the previous Parliament, up to now Canada has been a world leader in the regulation of dietary supplements. We fear that the proposed changes to Canada's regulatory framework for natural health products risk creating an environment that could stifle the industry and limit Canadians' access to high-quality supplements. IADSA has always promoted the Canadian model as a global reference point for governments across the world who are creating or redeveloping their regulatory systems. This Canadian model is recognized as providing consumers access to products which are safe and beneficial while fostering innovation and supporting investment in the sector. Well, that's exactly the shape that the previous Harper administration left the natural health products industry in, and it's precisely the challenge that the changes in Bill C-47 have actually posed and have undone all of that good work and created uncertainty in the environment. Our brand, Madam Speaker, is very reputable, or at least it was. For products and manufacturers and distributors across the world, if it had that natural product number and it had that Made in Canada symbol on the label, it was trusted pretty much globally that a natural health product sold around the world that was developed and processed and regulated in Canada could be trusted to be safe, and the contents that were in the bottle matched the contents that were on the label, or matched the labeling requirements, Madam Speaker. So that was our reputation then. That is not the case anymore.
And that's going to be left to Health Canada, that told you that COVID injections were very safe and effective. And I can tell you they're very safe and effective according to YouTube standards, but you be the judge of that. Again, they're doing the opposite. They're doing the opposite of what Health Canada is supposed to represent. Health Canada is supposed to represent the health of the nation, and they're doing the exact opposite. They're eliminating the health of the nation. They're corrupted to the bone of big pharmaceutical money. They're corrupted to the bone. And that's why they're pushing this kind of nonsense to try to change the framework of natural supplements that already have their own boards, that already have their own regulations, that are to the T. They were a global-wide product that people trust and relied on. And they're doing this now because big pharmaceuticals have played a huge chapter going into this decade, thanks to COVID. They have played a huge, remarkable chapter in purchasing Parliament to be able to implement these powers. And I'm sure the World Economic Forum plays a part in this. I'm sure that other corporations also, put their money into this. But like I said, it's not like, 2015, 2016, they were talking about this. It's not like they were going disaster on foot to say, oh my God, vitamin C, we got to do something about that. Well, now because we were lied to about COVID, and we were lied to about what Health Canada was telling us, that was all a big giant lie. Now they want to do this. Now they want to restrict you of actual natural remedies that help people. So here's another MP, Dr. Leslyn Lewis, who says many Canadians rely on natural healthcare products, including vitamins in their diets. The new government regulations may affect Canadians' personal healthcare choices. Conservatives will always fight for access to natural health products. So she's going to make a statement about this, and she's also going to bring up the petition that people are signing to stop this, to stop the transformation of natural health products into therapeutic drugs, to make it less accessible for people to access. So Here's what she says.
Mr. Speaker, today I rise to present a petition that has been signed by the residents of Halderman, Norfolk. These petitioners are concerned about the legislative and regulatory changes that have significantly affected the natural health products industry. The petitioners are concerned the new regulations will cause consumer prices to skyrocket and consumer choices to plummet at a time when inflation is at record high. As such, they're calling upon this government, upon the Minister of Health, to adjust the regulations and reduce the cost to the industry.
So that's what they're doing. So Health Canada and the Liberal Mark Carney government are coordinating efforts to restrict Canadians in the access to get natural supplements. And natural supplements are very essential for human health. I gave you some examples already that, people tend to get vitamin D deficiency during the winter months because it's cold outside, because a lot of people don't get proper sunlight during the cold winter months. So they take a lot of multivitamins. I take a multivitamin every morning for my health. So, changing the definition to stymied against Canadians and their ability to access these natural supplements and saying it's for the good of health. The only way that's even possible is that you really don't care about the health of Canadians, and it's all a cash grab for the pharmaceutical giants. It's all a cash grab for Health Canada that we know is massively corrupted. We know that they are complicit in lies and schemes and scams. And again, this is coming post-COVID. This is coming after how much they have lied to us during the pandemic, during the lockdowns, during the maniac times that seem to still continue on. And they're trying to say, we got to do this because these natural supplements, we have no idea what they're made of or how to control them. You just heard one of the MPs listing all the boards and regulatory agencies that are in charge of natural supplements. It was a global product. The marketplace, we were selling, exporting natural supplements all around the world. Now that may not be the case. And why would you do that? Why would you do that? Oh, that's right. Because according to the so-called experts, the people that want to take care of us, they tell us that there's no such thing as natural immunity, that vitamin D is useless, that, don't trust sunlight, don't trust eating proper nutritious foods, don't trust exercise, don't do this. Just do exactly what Big Pharma tells you to do when they advertise on The Price is Right. Just do what they do. Take more chemical concoctions and gamble your health away. That's what they want you to do. Whereas many people I know, many people rely on natural supplements. They take, multivitamins, vitamin D, omega-3s, all sorts of stuff. Calcium deficiencies, they take supplements for that. So do you want them to not be able to produce those minerals and essential nutrients? Because that could do further damages to their bodies. How is that beneficial for health?